Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Good news, President Trump signed an executive order to review all the infringements on the Second Amendment from 2021 to 2025. The language is pretty broad. It's not very long. It's on the whitehouse.gov page. It's easy to find. I'll post a link in the description also. This is a first test for the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi. I have heard some rumblings and read some rumblings on the interwebs about how she's not so pro 2A and that she's for red flag laws. I don't know any of these things because I don't live in Florida. I live on the opposite side of the country, so I don't know anything about this woman. So, her criticism from other people in the 2A community, I don't know if it's valid or not. But this plan, it has a directive that he wants 30 days for them to review everything and then have a plan on his desk. And then the Attorney General has to work to implement this plan. So this is a real true test for both President Trump and his, newly appointed Attorney General to see how loyal they are to the 2A community, because he's talked a big game over the, course of his two, terms, previous one, the one that he didn't win, and then now. So we'll see if what comes out of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't say that they're going to repeal the NFA or appoint Brandon Herrera as director of the ATF. I was hoping for that, but maybe that'll come at a later date. We'll see. So let's check out the executive order. So here's the executive order for February 7th, 2025. Easy to find on the whitehouse.gov page. Only a few sections, quick and easy to read. The Second Amendment is an indispensable safeguard of security and liberty. It has preserved the right of the American people to protect ourselves, our families, and our freedoms since the founding of our great nation. Because it is foundational to maintaining all other rights held by Americans, the right to keep and bear arms must not be infringed. The plan of action. Within 30 days of this date of this order, the Attorney General shall examine all orders, regulations, guidance, plans, international agreements, and other actions of executive departments and agencies to assess any ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment rights of our citizens, and to prevent a proposed plan of action to the President through the Domestic Policy Advisor to protect the Second Amendment rights of all Americans. Attorney General is going to review, and then basically it just lists the agency's actions from 2021 to 2025. The implementation, submission of this proposed plan of action described in Section 2, the Attorney General shall work with the Domestic Policy Advisor to finalize the plan of action and establish a process for implementation. So we don't know what they're going to find, but they only have 30 days to do it, and he wants to get on top of this and go. So kudos to him on reviewing everything during the last administration and seeing what infringements were made, and then making a directive for a plan of action for 30 days and then to implement it. So he wants it done rickety-tick. So kudos on him. He's moving at lightning speed to get his agenda passed, and he's rewarding all of his voting bases. So now the 2A community gets their piece of the pie. We'll see what comes out of it. It doesn't say that they're going to repeal the NFA, and it doesn't say that they're going to make Brandon Herrera the director of the ATF. Unfortunately, it doesn't say that, but we can always hope. What more do you guys want to see? Let's discuss shortly. The number one thing I would want to see that obviously I think they could accomplish would be getting rid of the tax stamps. If we're doing all this auditing of budgets and unnecessary taxes and wasteful spending and jumping through hoops that don't need to be there, over regulation, I would think this is an easy one that they would identify that they could do away with, right? Another thing I would think is simplifying the concealed carry laws, to be somewhat universal. Obviously, I don't know if they could do what I would ideally want, which is all states are constitutional carry states. So you can conceal carry or you can open carry, and you don't need to have, a special permit to do so. The Constitution is your permit. That's one thing that, I don't think that they could accomplish, in the 4 years. That would be a long-term goal. But getting rid of the tax stamp, I think, is something that definitely could be achievable. Another thing I think is achievable is the magazine thing, where there's conflicting, laws between different states. You go to one state, it's this capacity. You go to another state, it's that capacity. Getting rid of that and having a universal for all states along with the universal concealed carry, I think that is achievable, and that's a middle of the road position. I don't think that that's anything extreme. I think the whole constitutional carry thing, that wouldn't happen in the blue states. They would, activate their ground forces and go hard in the paint against that. And then they would put up, as much resistance as they could to drag the process, so on and so forth. But this is great to see. Only 30 days to implement the plan of action. So we could see a real big change, or we could just see a general change. We don't know. It's kind of exciting to wait and see because his administration is working at such a breakneck speed that we're not used to this. So I can't wait to see what results come through, and hopefully we all get a win, and hopefully the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, proves to all the naysayers that, she is for the 2A, and she is, selected by President Trump to support the 2A, and this is her first real test. So let's see how she does, and let's be optimistic. Thanks for watching.